It is a journey through the Bible with Mukhwana Isaac. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Yesterday, we saw Israelites entering the promised land, and still under the leadership of Joshua, we see now the Israelites beginning to conquer the land promised to them. They had to fight for it. Joshua's battle for the city of Jericho has made Jericho one of the most famous of Old Testament places. When you read chapter 6 of the book of Joshua, describes how the people were told to march round the walls of the city once a day for 6 days. And on the seventh day, they march around 7 times, blowing trumpets on the seventh day. As soon as the people heard the sound of the trumpet, the people raised a great shout, and the wall fell down flat, so that people went into the city. Then they destroyed all the city. Joshua chapter 6 verse 22-21. Yes, archaeologians have found that ruins of Jericho, the city, was extremely well defended. It was built on a hill and protected by 2 rings of massive walls. The outer one 6 feet thick, the inner one 12 feet thick. The outer wall seems to have fallen outward down the hill, but the inner one fell inward into the city, barring the buildings which lay behind it. There are large cracks in the walls which still remain today. Those facts, yes, actually the facts I'm talking about, lead to the conclusion that an earthquake, which is a common thing in those parts, must have shattered the city. That is why archaeologians say that the walls fell between 1250 and 1200 BCE, the time when Israel crossed the Jordan and attacked Jericho. In this natural occurrence of an earthquake, just when the Israelites were faced with the hard problem of getting into Jericho, yes, we must see God using natural things to help his people. The ruins of Jericho still show signs of a great fire destruction made by the Israelites once the walls had fallen. The capture of other important towns in the neighborhood of Jericho soon followed. 5 Amorite kings in the south of Canaan united to fight against Israel, but were defeated. In this way, the Israelites got control over a fairly large part of the south. The same thing happened in the north. Strangely enough, there is nothing said about any battle in the central mountain area of Canaan. And yet, it seemed to be in the hands of the Israelites. Probably, in this part there were already Israelites, descendants of Jacob, who had not gone down to Egypt, or who had left from time to time and returned to live in central Canaan. Joshua's battles were successful. After about 6 years, the Israelites had a strong bond and the land which God had promised them as their own. And so 2 things helped them to keep the unity necessary to give strength to a people. Joshua's strong relationship, yes, and the religious and the military center of Israel at Gilgal in the Jordan Valley, not far from Jericho. So before Joshua died, he gathered all the tribes of Shechem. He reminded them of all that God had done for them ever since the call of Abraham until their day. God had been faithful to his promises. You see, they, the chosen people, should be grateful for all he had done for them and should be faithful, obviously, to the covenant they had made. All the tribes there and then renewed the covenant with God in the same place where Abraham had made an altar to God after receiving the promise to possess Canaan. We read this in Joshua chapter 24, verse 1 to 28. And this brings us to the end of today's episode. I have been Mukhwana Isaac with a journey through the Bible. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tomorrow we look at the division of the land among the tribes. Be blessed.